talk a little bit about what you saw from your team this weekend up in Bowling Green and in the two games against Western Kentucky.
Well, I saw a team that really looked forward to competing and competed throughout. Of course, we fell a little bit short on Friday, was able to come away with it on Saturday. But one thing I saw after that Friday night game, not a ton of emotion other than, hey, we know what we got to do. We got to go out and do this better tomorrow night. And you could sense that there was real excitement to turn that page and go get it done on Saturday. Now, of course, it wasn't easy. Western Kentucky's a very good team. They're special in their building, and we had to have a lot of things go our way to be able to get that done. But I thought we defended well. We kept them off the foul line better in the second game, and was able to come away with a good win.
Questions? Go ahead, Ben.
Coach, you look at Friday night and into Saturday, and obviously coming back with a win on Saturday. Did you change up defensively how you were defending Bassey? I know he had the big night Friday, and it just seemed he was a little bit less effective on Saturday.
Just some slight changes, Ben. I mean, the biggest thing was we needed to get back in transition. I thought we did that fairly well both nights. The big difference was keeping Western Kentucky off the foul line. They shot 31 free throws on Friday. They took 13 on Saturday. And, we trapped him when we could, but, Bassey, he made some threes. He shoots some mid-range. I just thought that we were able to kind of keep coming at him with both Junior and Andrew Gordon. And, just maybe the cumulative effect over the two games helped with that. But, we really just tried hard to guard the paint and keep them on the perimeter, and they missed enough shots, and we got enough rebounds to come away with it.
Go ahead, Emma Kate.
Yeah, with the back-to-back CUSA schedule format, I know we talked about that last week, but just having those really close, nail-biting losses, how much does that, motivate the guys emotionally, and then how do you also keep them from getting down?
Well, I think when you lose a close game, you can immediately go back to some plays and things that you'd like to improve and get better at, and feel like, I know in our case this last weekend, having lost a close one on Friday, you feel almost like, hey, we know what we got to do. We got to do this better, and we're excited about the opportunity to play in the next night rather than waiting several days. So we've got a lot of upperclassmen on this team. We've got some guys that are competitive and love to play, and they were very excited about just turning the page and playing 24 hours later.
Questions, Corey?
Eric, if you could talk about if there is a challenge of keeping guys as fresh as possible during all the things that you guys are having to battle this year off the court. But I've noticed that bench play has been, I think, pretty important for you guys for the first 12, 13, 14 games this year. So talk about trying to keep those guys fresh and mentally sharp, and then when they get in the game be able to come in and contribute like they have been.
Well, the first part, this is always so mental, but it's even more important this year with all the different things that are going on. In some ways, life has been simplified because there's just not a lot of things that we're all allowed to do. However, missing out on that social interaction, being a college student and being able to walk and talk and hang out with different people is certainly missed. I know I miss interactions with people throughout town that I'm used to seeing a lot more often. But so we are trying to make sure that this is upbeat, that we're always staying positive. And this is normally what we want to do anyway, but just very mindful of the mental health aspect of all this. From a physical standpoint, we always want to play with depth, but playing back-to-back games, knowing that there's a chance that you could always miss a guy or two for whatever reason, you want to have depth on your team. And we were able to do that a little bit this last weekend. Kobe Williams got in foul trouble early. We had other guys get in foul trouble. Jace Bass stepped in and played some important minutes for us. Stacey Thomas stepped in and played some important minutes. We're getting more contributions from Xavier and Christian. And then, of course, you got a guy like Andrew Gordon coming in off the bench and Isaiah Crawford playing big minutes and producing for us. So we want to have a lot of different options, and I feel like we're developing that.
Go ahead, Ben.
Coach, when I think obviously a couple different games this year, you guys have had some issues at the free throw line. As a coach, how do you balance the element of, hey guys, you need to go in and make 100 different free throws before you leave practice, versus the mental side of it where you get them overthinking it when they do get to the free throw line in a game?
Yeah, it's a challenging one because many times it is the mental part. Of course, you've got to have the mechanics right. You've got to prove that you can make free throws, but you'll have times where guys in practice will shoot 100 and they'll make 90 and then really struggle in the games for whatever reason. So we do talk about the moment that you get fouled, automatically put in your head that this is 2 points, and step up and know that you've got a lot of makes behind you, that you've worked on this, and we shoot free throws every single day. So it's absolutely a mental part of it, and we just got to keep building our confidence there at the free throw line.
Bo?
Coach, we talked about the parity that seems to be falling into place with this 2-game schedule. How hard is it to try to amp your team up to win 2 straight games? How big a challenge is that?
I'm not sure that it's a motivation issue, to be honest with you. I think it's a chance to play, and that's what we all love to do. It's a chance to compete. I do think that there's a part of where you get used to somebody, you've played them the night before, there's not the same freshness about it, but you're still motivated to play well. And I just think what it shows, and just like in a 7-game series in the NBA, that one team can win by a lot one night and play the very same team the next night or the day after, and it's a totally different affair. It could be lopsided in the other direction. So I just think it goes to show that every day is a little bit different. We've got to just keep our guys excited and fresh and ready to play. But then also, as a part of how we're playing, maybe have a few different things in our back pocket, offensively and defensively, that could be a little bit of a change-up because we're playing these teams twice in a row and with no real practice time in between.
Eric, talk a little bit about the UTSA team that's coming in here this weekend.
UTSA still has Javon Jackson and Keaton Wallace. These two guys have been in their program for a long time. They've combined for over 4,000 points. They're two guys that feel like they've been in this league for forever. But it starts with them and their ability to score and create, make difficult shots off the dribble, off the catch. Those guys are very tough cover. But then they've also added some other pieces to their roster, from Sed Alley and Eric Parrish, Division I transfers from Houston and Nevada respectively, and then Germany in the front court, who's a sophomore now, that played a lot as a freshman. So they're a dangerous team. They're getting better. It feels like they're building more cohesion among their roster now that we're playing more games. They're coming off a very nice win against North Texas. But we're going to have to figure out a way to stop them on the perimeter. They play very quick. And then they'll change up some defenses and do some different things on the other end. So very good team coming in here to the Thomas Assembly Center. You'll hear me say that a lot. I think our league is as deep as it's been. I think that's part of what's showing in the parity with these back-to-back games. But very good team in UTSA coming here this weekend.
Questions? Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, Eric, I know this is not something that's exclusive to this particular year, but kind of take us through the coaching aspect of when you play a team like Western Kentucky and a team that's really predicated on getting the ball inside first, and then you turn around and you have to get ready for a team that's got two guys that like to shoot from the mid-court logo.
Well, it's just kind of happening for us in the reverse direction, where we played Marshall in the first game, where shoot a lot of threes and play fast. They do it a little bit differently than UTSA, but going from Marshall to Western Kentucky's attack to now UTSA, the one thing that all three of them have in common is they really push it hard in transition. They just have a different way of doing it. Whereas UTSA, those two guards, they're very ball dominant. They're very good off the dribble. They can really create in a lot of different ways. But it is a different game plan. We've got some time to talk about it and work on it. We spent some time on it yesterday. Today will be more of a individual work group to get some conditioning and work on some skills. And then we'll be spending Wednesday and Thursday primarily talking about our attack of UTSA and on both offense and defense. But it is different, but there are some similarities. But like I said earlier, it's going to come down to how well we can stop Jackson and Wallace, not let the other guys get going. And then one thing that UTSA does really well is offensive rebounds. So we've got to do a great job on the glass.
Any other questions for Eric? All right, Coach, we appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Coach.
Thanks, Coach.